like I said, they were doing it. They were giving us everything that Rhino didn't give us. I mean, true, Rhino did complete the Transformers set. I'm not going to deny that. But they did not give us what these guys did. I mean, sure, Rhino gave us some, nice little picture steals, a little gallery steals, or whatever they are, animation cells, I should say, animation cells, and that was nice. And they gave us a booklet in each, and they gave us an episode booklet in each set. But the thing was, it took years for that to happen. It took year after year after year. Not that I didn't mind it, because hey, that was the only way we got Transformers. But when Shout Factory got the license, they said, screw that. We're not going to make these people wait years. We're going to give it to them right now. And in addition, we're going to give them another version, another edition of this series set to collect. And it's going to have more than just the episodes. It's going to have more than just little animation cells. And that's exactly what they did. That is exactly what they did. They gave us more bang for our buck than we could ever imagine. They did. And I'm happy about it. I really am. I am truly happy about it. I don't know anybody else that is, but I am. And yeah, even though I don't have the Masterpiece Collection, I'm just as happy to have the complete series the way it is. But then on top of that, they decided to go a step further with something like Transformers and say, you know what, let's take the Japanese edition, the Japanese continuation, which is Headmasters, Super God Master Force, and Victory, and let's bring them out finally and officially to the masses here in the States. And that's what they did. But they didn't go and say, okay, let's take the English dubs. No, they took this straight out and said, we'll put English subtitles, but it's all going to be Japanese. And that's what they did. And that's what they did. True, they didn't do the same thing with G.I. Joe, because I don't think G.I. Joe had a continuation in Japan like Transformers did. But still, they gave you two different versions of how to collect the series. You either had, like I said, a regular box set, or you had that Foot Locker set, which was amazing. And then, of course, they weren't done there. They went and said, you know what? Let's take the other Big Four show. Let's take Gem and let's release her onto DVD let's re-release the complete series of her onto DVD. Let's not do what Rhino did, because let's not forget, Rhino, when they had Gem, yeah, they released the first season. They released, I think, the second season, and as soon as they got to the third season, that was it. They didn't release any more. I think the furthest they got was season 3, part 1, and that was it. They didn't get any further than that. They didn't get any further than that. So what did Shout Factory do? They said, okay, we're going to take Gem and we're going to release the entire series all at once. And I'll tell you this, the other thing they did is they promoted the crap out of it. They basically they promoted it through magazines and contests and all that, advertising on TV. They went balls to the walls with it because they knew fans have been wanting to get the entire complete series of Gem. And you know what? That's what they finally did. They said, here you go. Because they knew that because they knew that if they didn't do this now, there may not be another opportunity. There may not be. And because of that, look what we're finally getting next year. That's right. 3 of the Big Four, or actually I should say the Big Four, in a way, and I mentioned this before, sort of in a unique kind of way, the Big Four have hit the big screen. Oh, and that will come full circle next year. Think about it. You've had Transformers hit the big screen. You've had G.I. Joe do it, in a sense. You've had G.I. Joe do it twice. You've had Transformers do it 4 times. You've had My Little Pony, even if it's for just one weekend, through the Equestria Girls spinoff, do it, if you will. And now you got Gem do it. The only thing that will make it sort of really complete and really full circle is when the ponies get an official theatrical release in theaters without any ties magical, flat out My Little Pony, boom, that's it. And I guarantee you that it too will be a huge hit. There's no doubt about that. But the point I'm getting at, trying to get back on track here, is that when when Shout Factory, when basically different video distributors release or re-release something that another one has already done or has partially done, they sometimes want to do it in a sense that makes it more grander. They want to basically do what the other distributor could not do. So when they decided finally to put G1 of My Little Pony out on DVD as a complete series, they knew they had to go balls to the walls with it. Even if they had to release, like I showed you in the first video, even if they had to release a separate DVD sort of as a best of from G1, where you have the episodes that I mentioned, including Rescue from Midnight Castle and Escape from Katerina. So that was kind of unique in its own right. But as much as that's an advantage and basically a showcase for Shout Factory to say, hey, look, we're treating this more with respect than what Rhino did, sometimes the previous distributor, even if they don't fully release a complete series on DVD, sometimes that previous distributor does things a little bit more right than the other one. You see, the big difference between these two is when you look at Disc 4, and I showed this already, on Disc 4, Rescue from Midnight Castle is the first episode, and Escape from Katerina is the last episode. They treat them like regular episodes. They don't come out and say, oh, these are pilots, or these are the season, or this is a primetime special. They don't do that. They treat them like regular episodes, which is kind of ironic, seeing as though doing the syndicated run of My Little Pony, I think, and somewhat the network run on ABC, Escape from Katerina and Rescue from Midnight Castle were indeed treated like regular episodes. Just like when, back in the late 80s, when Transformers decided, doing their final syndicated run along with G.I. Joe, to split their feature-length movies into a five-part miniseries. Transformers did this in the late 80s during their final syndicated run. G.I. Joe did the same thing. Yes, you were watching the movies finally, but you were watching them as basically a miniseries, as like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and they all had subtitles. And that was it. Yes, it was nice to see and watch them at times you didn't expect to, but they had been split up basically into multi-parts. And that's basically what happened with the pilot of the pilot Rescue from Midnight Castle and Escape from Katerina. However, getting back on what I was saying, sometimes the previous distributor will sometimes, even though they won't complete a series like they should, or they had promised to, or were hoping to, or at least promised to when they had the license before their license ran out with Hasbro. Sometimes the previous distributor will always get something right. And when they released the first season of My Little Pony on DVD, they did get something right. And I noticed this when I got this. Right here, I don't know if you could read that, states special features pilot episode Rescue at Midnight Castle and My Little Pony special Escape from Katerina. They basically tell you right there that Rescue at Midnight Castle or Rescue at Midnight Castle, or Rescue from Midnight Castle, whatever it's called, and Escape from Katerina are the pilot and a My Little Pony special. They don't tell you that, oh, these are episodes. No, they tell you right off the bat that including even showing you on the back that those are extras because they're the pilot and basically a regular primetime special. But you do notice one thing. That just like with the Shout Factory one, they do split them into two parts, two mini parts, or two mini chapters, which basically would indicate to you the reason why Shout Factory did it the way they did. Because like I said, basically, just like what Transformers did with their movie, the 1986 movie, just like G.I. Joe did with the 1987 movie, they split them into multi-parts, or at least multi-mini parts, or mini chapters, if you will. So they did that, and that's why basically they're treated the way they are. They're treated as an episode. They're not treated as the pilot or a special. They're just episodes. So that sometimes is the biggest difference. Again, it's not just the fact that, another video distributor would say, hey, I can do a better job, than you. Or, oh, I can do a better job than you at this. Or I can do a better job. Oh, sorry about that, just moving the camera a bit. Or, it's not them just saying, oh, I can do a better job than you at this. Or I can do a better job at that. Or I can do a better job at that. No. Sometimes it's just the way they look at things. And if they feel, hey, Escape from Katarina and Return and Rescue of Midnight Castle are regular episodes, well, it's because they were shown through the syndicated run after they were originally aired, then so be it. That's what they did. The only benefit, only similarity, is they put them both on the 4th disc. Except the difference is except the difference with the Shout Factory one is they're not extras, they're not special features. No. Instead, they're part of the regular episodic run. So there are always going to be big differences. There always will be. I guarantee you, whoever gets the Hasbro license next in the future, they'll re-release all the titles once again that I've mentioned, all the shows that I've mentioned. They'll re-release them onto DVD, if not Blu-ray. If not Blu-ray, for who knows why. But they'll also probably do it in their own unique way. Maybe they'll put out gift sets and box sets and stuff like that. Or they'll come out and specifically say, oh, by the way, this episode is the pilot, and this is just a primetime special. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe they won't. We don't really know. And that's what's unique about it. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, take a look at Mill Creek. Mill Creek is sort of doing what Shout Factory's doing. I mean, because Shout Factory, with some of the series they had once under their belts, the geek animation ones, didn't complete them. Just like Rino didn't complete some of the Hasbro ones. And that's kind of karma. Now, true, Mill Creek is releasing them, but sometimes people say the quality is a little lower. The way they distribute them and package them is not the best, but they're getting better at it. It's kind of like a win-win situation. It's kind of a unique win-win situation. Same with N-Circle. They're doing the same thing. But then that's just how things are. And that's basically the difference between Rhino and Shout Factory releases of My Little Pony and some of the others that I've mentioned. So let me know what you guys think down below. Sorry this was in 2 parts, and I'll talk to y'all later.